All right, folks, here's another update. This is mainly for my long-term subscribers. Might get a little rambly, but I have some notes to hopefully minimize the sidetracking. First of all, I intended to have the review video for the CRKT machete ready, the machete, the new one. But it wasn't really the right day to do that. I have some weird allergic reaction. Apparently, I'm allergic to the gym. No, that's not supposed to be some bullshit excuse like, oh no, I can't do that, I'm allergic. No, there seems to be something in the gym that triggers some kind of allergic reaction, which apparently only happens on Mondays. It's bizarre. I do not understand that. And only at very specific times. When I work out on Mondays between 11 and 1, I'm fine. If it's even an hour later, I get an allergic reaction. And today I was even later than that. But still, I got it. And I never get it on other days. So it's incredibly strange. I have no idea what happens with that. But basically my nose gets all, kind of partially congested and itchy. And I probably sound a bit weird too. So I didn't want to do the review then. And my hands all messed up because of the cold, dry winter air, which apparently my skin can't tolerate. I always put on 2 layers of gloves when I go out, because if I just go out without gloves, it's gonna be a nightmare. I mean, this already looks pretty bad. I don't know if you can see that, but if I go out without gloves, it's a complete disaster. It completely cracks and starts itching and gets really bad and super dry. But who cares, right? Well, some people do. Anyway, but that's the reason why I haven't done that yet. But it's probably going to be up tomorrow. Enough of that. Let's move on to less trivial things. First of all, the IndieGoGo funding campaign. If you remember, I was pointing out that the amount that was displayed as available to me was a lot less than what is displayed on the campaign page. And I figured out what happened there. I mean, I still don't know, because it might be some kind of bug or at least some kind of confusing way of displaying things. But at least I found out that it's not as much of a ripoff as I first thought. So on the campaign page, you see the funds displayed as 3,371. And when I go to the tab funds contributed, it says 2,608, which is substantially less. And it's also, that would be a lot more fees than what they usually tell you they take, which I found strange, but I'm used to all kinds of weird hidden fees that eventually end up, leaving you with less than you thought. So I just figured, well, that's probably all that we're getting out of it. But no, now that the campaign is ended, I can actually get a more detailed overview, and that looks a lot more reasonable. Now there, all the amounts are listed in detail and actually correctly. And you know what, I'm just going to show you the screenshot here, because I want to be as transparent about this whole thing as possible, because, like I said, this is for the benefit of those who contribute, and, well, everyone else as well, all the viewers. And I want to show you exactly what's going on, just so you know that there's no bullshitting here. Okay, and so after all the tax, including PayPal fees and the tax that I have to pay to the Canadian state, we're going to be left with about $2,600. Depends on exactly how much tax I'll have to pay. I don't know yet exactly where they're going to put me in terms of tax rate, income tax rate, but so $2,600. And the thing is this: I had this survey where I let the contributors vote on what to get, and it seems that most people put a better video camera as highest priority, and it makes perfect sense. I agree with that. It's really the most sensible choice, because it's going to benefit you in every future video. Every time I make a video, you watch it, it's going to be higher quality than this piece of junk. So it's going to be good. And the second highest that people voted on was the Albion Kriegsmesser. And yeah, I can see why. It's a pretty awesome thing. It's a very nice blade, and it should perform very well. So the idea was that I could also get that for tests and demonstrations and whatnot. But I really don't feel good about that. The thing is, I absolutely appreciate all the contributions, but I don't really feel comfortable with buying something with those funds that also benefits me, not just you. Even if a lot of people want to see that and would enjoy videos with this sword or messer, it's still going to be good for my collection, of course. I will still enjoy it. And I don't really want that in this case, like I've said, this funding campaign is not for me, it's for you. I don't want to have any personal gain from it. I mean, yeah, there will be some, of course, like better camera means I have less editing to do, better video quality means potentially more views, maybe. So yeah, of course there's gonna be some benefit for me as well. But you know what I mean. I don't really wanna get something that, I will get so much enjoyment out of. So my idea is, instead, I'm thinking about putting all those funds towards a better camera. So instead of buying a $1,500 camera, I could buy a $2,500 one. Should be, a noticeable improvement if you pick the right stuff. And by the way, any suggestions, if you are experienced with video equipment, down below in the comment section, please. I want to make sure that I really get the best possible for the money. And yeah, I've sent, again, emails with a link to the survey to everyone who contributed, so that they can vote on that, whether or not they like that, whether or not they agree with that. I've already gotten some responses, and they were pretty much 100% yes, almost 100%. So seems like people are receptive towards that. Otherwise, I just feel bad. I really don't want this to be about me. I want to have material for better videos. So yeah, I think it would be a lot more appropriate to get a better camera, even better than 1,500. It's still not at the, really professional category where it's like 5,000 and up, but for, $2,500, you should get a pretty decent camera, I would think. And by the way, for the recommendations, I would prefer something that is at least semi-compact. If it's one of those really large, monstrous things, it's going to be a bit more difficult for me to lug it around. It's going to be fine for indoors, but when I record stuff outside, it's not going to be quite as practical. So yeah, open for suggestions there. And yeah, again, as you can tell, I want people to know exactly what's going on, so that's why I'm talking about these things. And yeah, I notice I'm kind of getting rambly already. Okay, so next thing. Armor, yes. That really doesn't seem to work out, apparently. Like the supposed armor sponsor, again, I've been trying to contact him multiple times over the past weeks, and I told him the IndieGoGo campaign would be the best way to contribute the funds. I've sent him the link more than once, actually, and told him, well, only a couple of days left. And no, he has not replied since then. So I'm just forced to conclude that this project is dead. The full suit of armor is not going to happen. I mean, it's, like I said before, it seemed like one of those too good to be true things all along, and I guess that's what it is. He was, they did send me emails that sounded positive. He still seemed interested to transfer those funds, but there were so many opportunities, and there were so many, instances where he said he's going to transfer them, and it never happened. So at this point, I can't imagine that it's ever going to happen. And then as far as the mold is concerned for the synthetic flesh material, the silicone rubber that I was experimenting with, I I was talking to one of my viewers who apparently can make a 3D model of the mold, and then I remember there was also someone who a while ago offered me to do 3D prints if there is something I need printed, so I also contacted that person. If you can also help out with that, if you have experience with 3D modeling or can do 3D printing, send me a message, let me know. Because it seems to me that that's going to be the best solution for doing this mold, because that way you can have a mold with a base that has kind of rails at the bottom and different inserts. So I can, have the smallest insert first, cast the synthetic muscle tissue, and then put the bone substitute in there, and remove that, put in the next larger insert, pour in the fat layer, and so on. Should work pretty well, and that way I have a more anatomically shaped and a better made target for tests. Well, that did turn out a lot more rambly than I was hoping. Oh well, just how my brain operates, I suppose. What can I say? I just like to keep it real. I'm not playing an act for the camera. Other than in specific videos, like the steampunk videos, I am playing a character there. But in videos like this, what you see is just me, and all my silliness and disorganized thinking and just bleh, whatever. What you see is what you get, pretty much. Speaking of which, I was actually thinking about returning to a bit more of the style that my channel used to have, in the sense that I used to have a lot more personal videos, if you will, on my channel. Between, say, 2010 and 2012, around. There was a lot more of that, more personal opinion videos talking about whatever. Now, I was talking about politics, which I kind of want to avoid at this point for the most part. But, things personal life related and amateur philosophy and rambling about this and that. I've done less of that over time out of a kind of sense of obligation, I suppose, The more this became a job, the more income came in over time, the more I felt that it's my responsibility to, provide high quality content. Whether what I'm regularly doing at this point is high quality or not is not for me to decide. It's up to you. There will be differing opinions on that, but I was kind of hesitant to do that kind of video because it's less professional, whatever you could say. But I kind of want to get back to some of that because it's nice to have this connection to viewers. And I know that it's also a phenomenon on YouTube that quite often you don't really watch a video so much for the content, maybe that too, but quite often you watch it primarily for the content creator. Quite often, gaming videos, for example. Quite often people don't really watch that for the gameplay footage, they watch it for the commentary. And I do that too. There are definitely people I'm subscribed to where it's really more about, listening to that person talk. And don't get me wrong, I do not want to turn this into one of those personal cult channels or whatever, where it's all about, me, my life, look at me. No, I don't want that shit, okay? And I'm not going to turn this into a vlog fest, okay? It's still going to be primarily more thought out, I guess, more professional, quote unquote. I always hesitate to call myself a professional. I'm a professional idiot, that's it, but otherwise not really. Anyway, but I kind of like to have this personal touch, connecting with the audience. I try to do that as much as possible anyway. I still have the small channel mentality where I, like to talk to people directly and then, share, pour out my thoughts towards you. That's a strange formulation, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here. So, yeah, let me know if you would like to see more of that. personal stuff. Some of you might think that's a terrible idea and it's boring and whatnot, but it's primarily going to be a video on days where I wouldn't otherwise upload. Because like I said, I still have this sense of obligation, and I always feel bad for making videos, well, like this, because it's just lower production value, of course, and it's just rambly and random and everything. I always feel bad for doing that, kind of. But if you like that, if you want to see that, and I sure wouldn't mind. But it would be kind of more fitting for my channel, because this is really not supposed to be one of those impersonal, just matter-of-factly type videos where it's only about the information and, with a very kind of neutral, detached way of delivering it. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not really my style. This is also, to a large extent, about entertainment, and to a large extent about connecting with people. And from some of the responses that I got, I know that that's exactly what a lot of people among my subscribers are looking for. So hopefully it's going to be good. But anyway, this is really rambly. Damn it. Thanks for watching.